So every time I hear people talking about unemployment, especially with regard to youth, because the young people are most affected by unemployment. But every time I hear people talk about unemployment, all you hear is young people are not critical thinkers, which is why they're unemployed. Young people are lazy, and that's why they're unemployed. Young people are not enterprising, that's why they're unemployed. The education system is bad. But you cannot blame young people for unemployment. Young people don't have jobs, not because they're lazy, not because they're not critical thinkers. They don't have jobs because there are no jobs. There are so many reasons that people keep giving, but the point is there are no jobs, not just in Uganda, the world over. The only difference is Uganda becomes unique because we have the youngest population in the world. So if young people are the most affected by unemployment, and yet you have the youngest population in the world, you have a bigger crisis than any other country. Also added to that fact is the fact that we have one of the highest fertility rates in the country. So almost every young person you meet is married recently or has a child, and these are people who have no jobs to cater for these children. And when you look at unemployment, a lot of people think for you to be unemployed, you have to sit home and have no jobs. Yes, there's an aspect of that, and we have many young people who sit home, not going anywhere. But we also have so many young people who wake up every day, dress up and leave their homes, saying they're going to work, but they are unemployed. We have so many young people who claim to be app developers. Yeah? They claim to be app developers. They develop apps but are not paid enough for that apps. They don't get monthly salaries, but they leave their home every day to go and develop apps. That is unemployment. We have so many young people in civil society who claim to be leaders of organizations. They even have fancy names, but they have no salaries, they have no benefits, and they rely on per diems and transport that they get in conferences. That is unemployment. We have so many young women who have been forced to go on the streets to become sex workers, not because they want to, but because they have no other means of earning money. That is unemployment. If you know anyone who is doing any job and they're overqualified for that job, that is an aspect of unemployment. Unemployment is not just statistics. Each one of us knows at least 18 people in our life that are unemployed. That's a big number, and that's a crisis for us as a country. And when we think about unemployment, you can't expect the government that is composed of so many older people to be able to understand what unemployment is. They've always had jobs. Only a young person can understand how bad unemployment is, because young people have had to fight for jobs. Young people have had to look for jobs. Young people every day have to wake up and kuyiya, that's what they call it, to kuyiya, and find a way to push, to hustle, Older people don't do that, because older people, right from when they were in campus, there were jobs waiting, regardless of what degree they got.
So you look for a job? Yes. Okay, this is your CV. I'll go through it and then I'll get back to you. Okay? Yes. Alright. So, enjoy. Have a nice day. You too, sir. Alright. This one.
Tambula.
Another thing that a lot of people keep saying with regard to unemployment is that unemployment is a time bomb that's waiting to happen if we don't address it. But that has become talk. Everyone just keeps saying it. Has become lip service because no one actually understands how bad the issue of unemployment is going to get if we don't address it. One, look, you can see the effects already now. How many young people are spending all their days in sports betting centers? gambling away what little money they have earned in the hope that they will strike gold, in a slot machine or some other card game or some other betting game. We are losing young people to that. We're using a productive force to betting all day. Young people are becoming a burden to parents. We have households where a person who's earning a salary that should sustain 3 people is taking care of 23 people. Your average working parent now has over 20 dependents. An average Ugandan working parent has over 20 dependents. That is a big number, And so the standard of living cannot improve if we have such a high dependency ratio in our country. That also affects the GDP, as a country, which is why it must become a national crisis.
My son, I'm about to retire. You must apply for a job so that you help us also. We've been struggling for you, we've been looking after you. We expect you in the evening to come with something. Now we have come empty-handed. You must also provide, you must also help us. Please, as you come, we expect you to come with a kavera. We expect you to come with something. Don't come empty-handed. And I don't know, there are so many jobs. Keep trying. Have you been applying for jobs? I don't think so, because from what I see, all these 2 years now, it's 2 years since you left the university. You should have got a job. Some of my friends have told me that they have got jobs out of these applications. And I always see many. You look at the newspapers, especially Monitor on Tuesdays. Look at this, check, get something. We paid a lot of money for you, paid a lot of school fees for you. We've been investing in you sincerely. Don't think that we shall have to sit down, sit back and look at you and keep feeding you. You come home, even to the extent of wanting you to wash for you, buying soap, imagine, buying sugar, at least buy something. Come with the kavera, at least with some bread. Then apply and get a job. I am sure you'll have to get a job. Please come back. Don't go away. I know you are going away. You don't want me to keep advising you. Come back.
Hello? Hey Tom, what's up man? Man, I need a favor from you man. I need to borrow some money. I need to borrow 10k. So, you send it via mobile money. Like now man, I need it desperately. Please. Alright, thanks man. Alright, bye.
When we were growing up, all our parents had work. There's no young person I know who never knew their parent had work. Everyone's parent had work. I have so many friends right now who have babies with no work. That is unemployment, and that is how really it is, And it's not because they are not trying. Ugandans try so hard. We have some of the most enterprising young people as well. The only problem is the systems are not there to help young people be able to flourish. So many young people start businesses, but they fail the next day. So because of that, we also have the highest turnover. The same number of businesses opening up and the same number of businesses closing. Because while there's persistence with young people, there's just not enough system to support them. There's no market for the goods that they produce. They're encouraging a lot of young people to be entrepreneurs, to move into carpentry. But how many workshops are closing every day because they've been put out by big furniture companies? There's no market for goods. It's so hard to sustain companies in this country. So how are you supposed to be an entrepreneur when even starting an enterprise is hard? How long does it take to register? How much does it cost? Look at the tax. Why are we giving tax incentives to big companies, big foreign companies, and not our young people who are trying to start businesses here? Why are we not giving them protection in terms of supermarkets? you know, or in terms of raw materials? Why are we not giving them incentives in that areas, young people who have no money and are trying to make a living to try and solve unemployment with regard to foreign investors who even have an act protecting them with incentives, you know? And so that is the crisis we have right now.
Okay, I'll send it. Bye. Man, that was Peter. He wanted some money. He wanted some 10K.
That Peter has a problem. He's, you know, it's a bit hard for our generation currently, but it's so shocking that a guy like him, you know, you went to school, you have papers, you have a diploma, and then you can't even afford 10,000 shillings.
But he's our homeboy. We shall just send him the money.
And you know, yeah, it's affecting him because last time he called me, he was telling me about his mom. Mom is disturbing him, then the sister is on his neck, then his girlfriend is pressurizing him, then, I mean, life is just being hard for him.
Man, I don't understand these days. This unemployment is too bad. It is too bad. You find a guy who has gone to school, he has a degree, he has a diploma, he cannot even buy a boxer, he cannot do anything for himself.
I have a brother to at home who is like in Peter's situation. No job, no nothing, yet he's skilled and he has been home for 7 years. When you talk about Peter, I truly understand what he's going through. I really feel for him. You know, unemployment is a time bomb thing. You know, when you look at the thousands and thousands of young entrepreneurs and young graduates who come out of campus every single year, who graduate with all the excitement and joy. When you look at all the parents who are so excited about seeing their children make it to the top, and after seeing it all go down, you know, with them looking for jobs, with them hustling, sweating, walking around town, day in, day out, and finding no business, it's a bit hurting, you know, when you look at all these things happening. You know, someone has got to do something about this.
Definitely.
This is a time bomb.
You're right.
You're right, sir.
Just because you have a degree from Uganda and your counterpart has a degree from Malaysia does not mean you're not good enough. It just means there are no jobs. That is the issue about unemployment, and we need to stop going around in circles and blaming young people. The point is there are no jobs, and to look forward, we need to be looking for jobs. Is the government doing enough is the question. It isn't. They've committed as a proportion of the budget towards helping entrepreneurs, but we need more than just giving people 5 million to start up businesses. Let's look at your average business. You want to start up a poultry farm. How much does it cost? 1, to buy land to set up that farm. 2, to buy the chicken. 3, to buy the feeds. 4, to register your company, because even to get a loan, you must register that company. Yeah. That 5 million can't sustain you in the beginning of your business. So can we say that the government is doing enough? Is it enough for you to train young people with skills? We are training so many young people, but we are not making any commitments towards creating markets for them, even within our country, you know? So how can we say we as a government, or you as a government, is solving unemployment? You know, unemployment is also something that is so indignifying for young people, and people don't like to talk about this. But 26-year-old girls, women, are still asking for money for sanitary pads from their parents. We still have 28-year-old men who ask for allowances from their parents. We still have 30-year-old men asking their parents to marry them wives because they cannot afford to marry a wife. That is how real unemployment is. But what are you and I doing about unemployment? What are you and I doing about unemployment besides blaming the youth for not being critical thinkers, for being lazy?
Help, I have done it again. I have been here many times before, hurt myself again today. And the worst part is there's no one else to blame. Be my friend, hold me, wrap me up.
that must be at the forefront of all our planning. We cannot claim to have economic development and attain middle income status by 2017 and first class status by 2040 without solving the issue of unemployment. And so this is something that we as a country must deal directly and put at the forefront of all our policy planning for us to be able to grow further and develop.